in a video, so let's pause this Tucker video 10 times. This is Tucker Carlson. Now, I saw this. This was on his show last night, and I was actually watching Tucker's show, and as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, fuck. And, of course, I was going to clip it, but I went online, and somebody had already clipped it. So then I retweeted it, and I sent it over to Mike last night, and I'm like, dude, holy fuck. So, Tucker.
And normally I'll be like, all right, I'll save this for tomorrow. But that was one of the few moments I'm like, you guys have to see this now.
So, as we've pointed out before, guys, Tucker watches Owen. No, as we pointed out before, Tucker is definitely a dude that watches a lot of YouTube videos. I have a feeling that he does.
Yeah, I don't think he's like sitting there all day and all night, but he's got his finger on the pulse.
It's not like I don't think he watches us. Like, I'm not Owen. I don't obviously doesn't.
I do. I think he watches us.
I think that if there was anybody on the internet that Tucker would watch, it would be like a Vincent James or something like that.
Hey, Tuck, look, I get it, brother. Look, I know you're watching. He is watching.
He's not watching.
Tucker, listen, bud, okay? Let's get together sometime. Next time we're up your way. I get it. You can't be seen with us, but let's,
Dude, we're going to be going like right through your neighborhood, too, in December. Maybe we hook up with Tucker, go have some dinner with him.
Yeah, you know.
He knows us,
yeah,
clearly.
We'll go somewhere nice. We'll pay. Panda Express.
Whoa, hey, I'm not that flush.
Take you to a Longhorn Steakhouse.
All right, let's do it. Hey, you know what?
That would almost be worth it. You meet, and not even any famous person. We got to make a deal that anytime we meet
Longhorn?
a famous person,
I'm down.
We, on purpose, will go, hey, let's have a nice business dinner. We'll sit down. We're going to take care of everything. We meet them at like an Olive Garden or a Longhorn.
We'll do it. And you know what we do? We go, everything's on us, one drink minimum.
Mr. Hannity, please enjoy. Maybe we could do that. Like, we should start courting all these fired media people.
I'm down. Let's do it.
Can we just invent a job that we're going to hire for, and we'll interview all of these former media people that can't find work, and then we'll just hire one of our friends.
And what we'll do is all headquarters. We'll just rent a headquarters like in a strip mall that has like a Hooters in it, and make them have to come out and interview for the job.
Yeah, no, and I even have a better idea. And then what we'll do is we'll start a college-based conservative organization, and we'll funnel money out of it.
I love it.
And into a different nonprofit, and then we'll use that nonprofit to pay for our T-shirts and buttons, and then also pay for a studio for us. But also, the T-shirt company will be owned by us. We call that the old Turning Point USA.
I like that. We have to come up with a different name, though. We'll get sued. Tucker, last night. No, it's okay. It's fine. Tucker last night. I asked you to stretch anyway. Tucker last night. Tucker last night was in the middle of his show, and his whole show wasn't about this. It's just a little 2-minute segment. But he was talking about what happened at Uber. Uber has laid off a bunch of people, and they've been hiring a lot of green card workers. Now, look, when it comes to this stuff, you guys have heard it over and over again, but there are certain things that the America First crew, the Groypers, are talking about. And besides the obvious, Israel question, they've been talking about Charlie Kirk saying that, well, as long as it's legal, every immigrant can come in here. I think we should staple green cards to diplomas. That was one of his famous quotes that they keep nailing him on. So let's play this little clip here from Tucker last night.
The rideshare company Uber has fired more than 1,000 workers since July, mostly Americans. That's about 2% of its workforce. Meanwhile, during the same period, the federal government has approved hundreds of new H-1B visas for Uber. And that means they can replace those workers with foreign scabs who will work for less. It's like outsourcing, but even easier because Uber doesn't even have to build a new building. Now, there's nothing unusual about what Uber is doing. There's bipartisan consensus in Washington that we desperately need smart people from overseas to do the jobs that Americans are too badly educated to do.
Look, we're going to continue. We're at the pause. He's so
smarmy.
But does it feel like he's had it?
Yeah,
we've played, even in the past couple of years, we've played a lot of Tucker stuff on this show. One of the last people in media that I actually like, even his own people in his own network are quitting because of him, which shows you something.
I think Tucker's going to get very black-pilled. I think he's already getting very
black-pilled. Yeah,
like I just think he does this every night, and every night he goes home and he's like, "Who the fuck's even listening?
Who cares?
Is anybody even listening to me?"
You're right.
Like, who gives a shit?
He's just sitting there just getting a beer out of the fridge, and his wife's like, "Come on, honey."
At this point, honey, I'm only doing this so I can say I told you so during the fucking apocalypse.
You're right.
You're like, all right, honey. Just
Now
I'm gonna go brood and watch Vincent James videos.
and don't forget, tomorrow we're gonna be testing the panic room. All right, let's finish.
He's having his fucking beer in a dark fucking office.
You just see the glow from the YouTube.
You can actually see Vince from the Red Elephants, his Red Elephants hat reflecting off of his eyeballs, like just.
All right, listen.
Overseas to do the jobs that Americans are too badly educated to do. No reason to fix our schools or make sure higher education is serious and non-frivolous. We can just import people from countries that take education seriously. And that's what we do. That's why the U.S. government passes out foreign worker visas to allow corporations to replace people like you with people who live 6,000 miles away. Now, you probably haven't even heard of the F1 optional practical training program, but in just 4 years, from 2009 to 2013, that program replaced nearly 500,000 American jobs. The program allows foreign students who studied American universities to stay in the country after they graduate. In other words, we're just going to staple a green card to their diploma.
Oh, it gets better.
Oh, I know. You know what? You're right. Let's play it out. I won't even comment till it's over.
The program replaced nearly 500,000 American jobs. The program allows foreign students who studied American universities to stay in the country after they graduate. In other words, we're just going to staple a green card to their diploma. You probably heard that phrase recently. And since employers who use F-1B visas are not required to pay payroll taxes, they get, in effect, a tax subsidy for hiring foreigners over U.S. citizens. How's that for America Last? Maybe the program would make sense if Americans really couldn't fill all those jobs, but it turns out there are plenty who could. Just ask the thousands who were recently laid off by Uber. According to the Economic Policy Institute, fully half of all American STEM majors, that is people who study technology, don't end up working in STEM jobs. Isn't that weird? The only people who actually benefit from these visa programs are tech billionaires in Silicon Valley. They're getting richer no matter what. And the foreign nationals who want to live in San Francisco. And our government makes it easy for them to do that. Who gets hurt? Well, among others, the college graduates who took on huge amounts of student loan debt only to be dumped into a system where their foreign replacements get preference over them. This is happening on a grand scale, and both parties are for it, including many Republicans in Washington. It tells you a lot about where their priorities are.
So those two lines, of course, that we're pointing out, obviously the America Last thing and the staple the green card thing. Whoo, this is,
He's
telling you,
get
man.
talking to.
He guaranteed is getting, how's already.
They're not going to be able to do anything about
Tucker
it.
has the second highest ratings on the network. Sean Hannity, I believe, is beating him.
I thought he was higher than Hannity.
No, well, in certain demographics, Tucker's higher than Hannity. Tucker obviously is higher with the younger demographic, but remember, the people that really watch Fox News are older people. So
I just want to point out, TC in the chat said, I can't wait until he puts a liquor bottle on the table on air.
You think the next show, it's going to be one show he just shows up in a three-piece suit and a MAGA hat on? And he just starts going
clutching a rosary.
So this is, and again, that's probably the most he could say, right? Because he really is good at toting the line, because he can't outright support them, because they'll be like, what, are you anti-Semitic? Because that's the problem. Anybody that tries to support those ideas, those ideas now are just being told, well, then clearly you're an anti-Semitic. Look at what happened with Crenshaw. You know, you're not allowed to support these people.
Crenshaw, particularly Crenshaw and Matt Walsh, have, I think, been the worst of the bunch. Like, even Charlie Kirk, who is having a meltdown because he runs Turning Point, he does a lot of his sneaky shit behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Charlie Kirk, for all intents and purposes, actually does pretend to answer questions and like he brushes shit off or whatever. But like Crenshaw and fucking Walsh are just immediately like, don't you fucking talk to me like that. And you're like, whoa. So people, you're getting angry.
People have been going fishing through old Matty Walsh. This is the new one. Through Matty Walsh's old tweets. January 22nd, 2016. January 22nd, 2016. Which would mean that Trump was already president January 22nd, 2016, correct? Yeah. Right? Yeah, I believe so.
No, 2016, no.
No, you're right. Sorry, you're right.
This was probably right as he was getting the nomination.
You're right. Sorry, I completely did the math wrong. Matt Walsh.
Or maybe not when he got the nom, but right leading up to him getting the nom.
Right around there. Matty Walsh tweeted this. I will vote for the first candidate who promises to deport all Trump fans.
Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't sound like the Matt Walsh of today. They're all latching onto a winning brand.
Yeah, the election was in November. You're right, guys.
They're all latching onto a winning brand. That's all they're doing. So they can make money selling you purple mattresses.
Now, it's funny when you see things like this because if you look at the title of Matt Walsh's show today, you know what it is?
How cool is Trump?
Witch hunt. Trump witch hunt. Defending Trump for the terrible witch hunt. They're going after him. All of these people
hated his guts.
But it's not even. Yeah, you're right. You know what? I agree with you, but like I said, I think it's worse than this. It's not that all of these people hated his guts. All of these people hated you. You know, they hated you. They hated anybody that said, you know what, maybe Trump will be good. You know what I mean? Maybe Trump will be good.
The people that basically call the Groypers leftists and call the alt-right leftists, they think of you the way leftists think of you. Like just loser, Midwest, flyover state human garbage. Because they don't live like Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro. They're not living in Des Moines. They're not living in Cedar Rapids. They're not, you know what I mean? They're Los Angeles, New York, limousines.
Matt Walsh is such a fucking phony. They hate you. They can't stand you. And what bothers me is that we've said it before, but the gatekeeping is real, man. It's this, you know, what's funny, man. There's certain things that really get me mad. And even though they're kind of different, it's the same kind of complaint I have. You know, we talk about in comedy those comedians like the Sarah Silvermans and stuff that, you know, they tell their jokes and they do what Mark Maron's another one of those now. They tell
He's
their
insufferable.
They tell their jokes and they're fucking edgy and they say faggot and drop the N-word and all that stuff, all in their sets. And then once they've made it, whenever something happens to another comedian, they're like, you can't say that, okay? It's 2019.
They literally
We've
did
changed.
blackface.
Yeah, I know.
Blackface.
So someone did
you
blackface.
Said, the fucking retards and fucking child
Gay
rape jokes and all this shit.
Sarah Silverman on her show on Comedy Central had a whole bit where she wanted to send everybody with AIDS to the moon. Like in that, and
by the way, it's a funny bit.
Yes, it is.
That's a funny bit.
It is.
See, she used to be funny.
Yeah. So that was like one of the bits that they had, and they make it right, and then they close the door behind any comedians that are coming behind them. Well, that's what these people are. It's the same thing.
The political equivalent.
You get not even that. You know why? Because at least the other comedians used to be good. These people were always trash. They were always neocon trash. And now they've come in and said, you're not welcome here, sweaty. Well, the reason that Trump got elected was the same people that are walking up there with rosaries and bitching at you. Those are the reasons. You didn't vote for Trump. None of you guys gave a shit about him.
Yeah.
None of you can. Now you come in and you tell everybody that voted for Trump. And by the way, this isn't even you can hate Trump right now. That's nothing to do with that. But if you were somebody that supported him or believed him in 2016, you're trash. You're trash, and you're not allowed to have an opinion. The people that are never Trumpers are allowed to have an opinion. Even Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro was one of the Glenn Beck. You saw what the Blaze wrote? That tweet from the Blaze writer, one of the Blaze TV writers, wrote something that, known as Nick the Nazi, referring to Nick Fuentes. He's a white supremacist and an anti-Semite and blah, 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 blah. And they were, where they were getting the information from? Rational Wiki. That was their source. For real, I swear to God. And that's Blaze TV run by Glenn Beck, another never Trumper. A guy who, when Trump won the election, went on CNN and capitulated and goes, I know, guys, I'm more worried than you are about this.
Yeah, the guy who
I'm
cried.
more worried.
He cried. Yeah. The guy who fucked over Andrew Breitbart.
Yeah.
Glenn Beck is just probably the worst of all of them.
Of course.
And they're all now learning from Glenn Beck's playbook.
And then they turn, and now Glenn Beck's like, don't worry, guys, I love Trump now. No, you don't. What's happening is all the money started drying up. This is why when we call people grifters, Ben Shapiro's another one. Ben Shapiro's someone who still kind of criticizes Trump, folks. But Ben Shapiro went from Trump's an idiot, I'll never vote for him, he's a moron. But now Ben does segments on his show. Okay, folks, good Trump, bad Trump, all right? What Trump here did was good, but what Trump here did was bad. So he even moved to middle of the ground.
But the thing is he's only pandering to you morons who give him money and do his fucking, Blue Apron and his Birch Gold and all the boomers that love Trump. He's sucking the money out of the Trump cult. But he's also secretly going to dinner with Marco Rubio, and he's going to dinner with people like Paul Ryan, and he hangs out with all these people who hate Trump, who are actively, secretly working against Trump at all times. Mitt Romney. Those are Ben Shapiro's buds. So he makes money off of you dumbass boomers, takes that money, and then picks up the tab for Marco Rubio and people like that. It's a fucking gross game, man, and you're all paying for it.
And all of these people, I want to make sure, because somebody sent me something. I want to make sure it was Matt Walsh and not Ben Shapiro. Give me a sec here. Hold on. One of these guys, one of these Daily Wire guys, was another one that was just saying recently, like, when the whole Romney thing, when Romney wanted to be in Trump's cabinet.
Remember that dinner? Yeah. The broken man.
Yeah, Romney wanted to be in Trump's cabinet, and Trump chose not to have him on his cabinet. They were saying, Romney would be great. Romney would be great in Trump's cabinet. And now we're finding out he's a piece of shit. All of these people wanted the status quo. They wanted these neocons to get in there. They wanted to get all their little dumb open Koch brothers, open borders, because that's what it is. That's why these people are funded. The whole like America First and Groyper thing and all that, whatever you want to call it, is not funded. It's not funded
by
like
anyone.
Conservative Inc. is funded by the Koch brothers, right? By the libertarian Koch brothers. The left, of course, they're funded by Soros and all these other, and the fucking Mossad and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, the Groypers are funded by single people pulling $10 out of their pocket and going, fucking A, right on. Like, that's pretty much the only money that's going into any of that. It's literally grassroots people saying, okay, I support this message.
So here's
people are chipping in gas and shit. Like, people are out there right now trying to find these guys that are going and being like, hey, if you need gas money and shit, let us know. You know what I mean? Look, if you guys are going to these things, let me know. I'll throw you some gas money. It's because it's not funded. That's how you got to do it. I'll buy. Listen, if you go to one of these things, you're going to hit Charlie Kirk with a question, especially if it's a turning point endowment question. If it's a question about any of that shady dealings with team giving, hit him with some weird shit. Fucking destroy that thing. As long as you're fucking being respectful and you're good optics, I will pay for your Chick-fil-A that day.